This is Mrs. Tidwell, the instructional coach at Cottonwood. Today's lesson is finding complications in our characters. I want to remind you that before you complete this mini lesson, you need to have listened to our read aloud from Chapter 5, Competition in the Lemonade War. Readers, ever since we began this unit, I've been paying close attention to characters in the books that I'm personally reading. You're not the only one who learns around here. Something interesting has happened in my book. For many pages, I've been waiting for the villain, the really bad guy, unforgivable bad, to come to the end that he deserves. But my author is tricky. Last night, I turned a page and the author started giving me flashbacks that showed me the villain's past. I see the guy growing up without parents. I see teachers and other kids treating him cruelly. And you know what? You're not going to believe this. But I'm starting to feel sorry for the guy. I'm even seeing him deep down inside as kind. I'm starting to think he needs another chance. It often reminds me of the character The Grinch. This got me thinking. Authors not only create characters on purpose, they also get readers thinking one thing about the character on purpose. And then the author blows our minds on purpose by showing us that the character is more complicated than we thought. In the best books, characters aren't easy to figure out. Today I want to teach you that characters are complicated. They aren't just one way. Characters may be the one way in one setting or in one relationship and another way in a different context. Or they may be one way on the outside and another way on the inside. Good readers look for text evidence that shows this complexity to build solid ideas about characters. If I had to describe you, I wouldn't be able to package you into a few little words. I know you're probably one way on the playground, another way in math class, another way with another teacher, and probably a totally different person when you go visit your grandma for Thanksgiving. I could never fit into a few words a description of you. I want to show you how a person can be recorded in two different ways. I will model it using myself. So I'm Mrs. Tidwell. This is a picture of me. Readers, if someone saw me in the classroom and then saw me in the kitchen, that person might not recognize that it is the same person. In my classroom, I am organized, I'm prepared for anything, and I'm responsible. In the kitchen, however, it is another story. I often forget to shop for necessary items and ingredients. I'm unable to predict problems with baking and temperature and the thicknesses of sauce. And I can be very disorganized, always looking for something. So I am not just one way. To call me organized is true for a classroom, but not true for the kitchen. I'm going to read aloud a passage that reveals Jessie in a new light. So I've selected 2 from chapter 5. Why'd I do it? Why'd you do it? Why'd you invite that jerk over for a lemonade stand? Shouted Jessie. And how come you wouldn't let me play? You're the one who was mean. You're such a show-off, said Evan. You always have to let everyone know that you're the smart one. But Jessie didn't let loose. Instead, she stood as tall as her runty height would allow and said, Megan likes me. She invited me over to her house tomorrow. We're going to make another lemonade stand and earn twice what we did today. Let's first remember Jessie before she made a lemonade stand with Megan. How did she act towards Evan? What did you think of her? Before the lemonade stand, we could say Jessie was anxious and confused about why she was having a falling out with her brother. She was concerned about getting their relationship back to how it was and concerned for her brother. She was also kind. She was still asking him to hang out, offering to play Stratego with him, which was his favorite game. And she knows that she was choosing activities that he would like. Now, reading this passage from chapter 5, we see Jessie use words like jerk, and she's shouting, she's being mean. You might say that Jessie is now being hurtful towards Evan, and that she is acting out of being upset. She's lashing out at Evan. Reading this passage, we see Jessie is standing up for herself and flaunting her success of the lemonade stand in Evan's face. You may say that she's being competitive, almost wanting him to challenge her back. Just looking at this before and after of the lemonade stand Jessie had with Megan, we can see two different sides of Jessie. We have discovered that Jessie is different in different circumstances. Readers, I also want to draw your attention to the way Jessie and Evan behaved in front of their mom. We see that they look at each other, that they had a vow, an understood vow, that they would not fight in front of their mom. So instead of telling their mom what's going on between them, they both said nothing. They both said they were joking around. They were goofing around. But we know that they weren't. We are seeing that without their mom's presence, they are argumentative and mean towards each other. And then they quickly adapt to when their mom is around. We are seeing a different side of both Jessie and Evan while they are in front of their mom. Characters can be different in different circumstances and with different people. I want you to remember, readers, that authors make characters complicated on purpose. And as readers, we need to grow ideas about our characters that are complicated. I want you to think of a character in your own book that you have been reading about. I want you to ask yourself, what is the main idea I have about my character? Now say to yourself, is this always true? Think about times when the character is not that way. Are there places, relationships, or times when the character acts differently? Does your character have different sides? Today, as you read, make sure you grow ideas about your character that are complicated. Take a look at this anchor chart. These are thinking stems that you can use as you make observations today. My character often does this, for example, which makes me think this. I used to think my character was blank because in the text, blank, but now I'm thinking this because I'm realizing blank about my character because all of these are great thinking stems when you are wanting to make an observation about your character. Today you are going to read for 20 minutes. As you read, I want you to jot 2 observations on how your character is complicated using those thinking stems in the previous slide. Enjoy your reading.